Two major developments, and neither appears to be a good news for the US, Israel, or the wider West. The first one relates to Donald Trump himself, who once again made a spectacular admission about the fear caused by the ferocity of the Iranian missile attacks on Israel. He said this right in front of the US media and in the presence of his war criminal friend Benjamin Netanyahu. Can you believe that Trump said this about his own ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee? And then came an extraordinary video evidence from the Yemeni fighters, also known as the Houthis, of their attack on a merchant ship in the Red Sea. I mean, I have never seen visuals quite like this in my 30 plus years of active journalism. Now let's look at these two developments in greater detail. As I said in my last video, Trump shamed his own country and humanity by inviting an indicted war criminal for the third time in the last 6 months to the White House. These two genocidal maniacs celebrated the mass starvation of up to 2 million people in Gaza by flaunting their own lavish dinner. Of course, this dinner garnered plenty of bad publicity for the right reasons. But one crucial comment made by Trump that went largely unnoticed was his revelation on the fury of the Iranian missile attack on Israel. We all know that the US embassy in Israel had to be shut because of the impact of one Iranian missile during the recent conflict. Hundreds of thousands of US Israeli nationals had fled from the settler colony to their original country because they didn't want to fall victims to Iranian missiles that were causing widespread devastation. However, Trump has now told the world that his own ambassador to Israel was running from bunker to bunker to avoid being hit by an Iranian missile.
By the way, we have a man with us who thought this was going to be a very glamorous, easy job. He's the ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, former governor, former everything. I'd say he's a former everything, and respected and loved by everybody. And he loves Israel. He loves the state of Israel, and nobody loves it much more. And he's not Jewish, and he loves Israel. And he wanted to be there. I said, you know, Mike, it could be dangerous. No, no, no. Well, at least I was right about that. He was in every bunker you could be in. He was running around from bunker to bunker, but he's still with us, fortunately, and he's done a great job.
Only a day later, he was praising his military for bringing Iran to its knees. I mean, either Iran was brave and sending hundreds of thousands of US nationals, including the US ambassador, into hiding, or Iran was so weak that it simply surrendered to the so called military might of the USA. The world knows the truth. Iran didn't beg for a ceasefire. The Israelis desperately wanted a ceasefire. Trump himself wanted a ceasefire because the Iranian missile attacks on the US airbase in Qatar had sent shivers down his spine. This is what happens with all paper tigers. They are good at only slaughtering unarmed and defenseless people, but they run with lightning speed when someone stands up to their bullying and responds in equal measure. There's no point blaming the US media. No amount of criticism aimed at them would change the fact.
Not only the pilots, I mean, those machines flew for 37 straight hours. They didn't stop. They went skedaddle. You know the word skedaddle? It means skedaddle. They dropped the bombs, and somebody said, skedaddle. Let's get the hell out of here. And every bomb hit its mark and hit it incredibly. And as you know, the Atomic Energy Commission said it's gone. That place is gone. We had a lot of fake reporting, mostly from CNN, where the scammer writer, a writer for CNN, who should be fired, by the way, she was involved with the 51 fake intelligence agents, if you remember that. She did that story, created a story out of it. She created a story out of the laptop from hell, saying it came from Russia, but it actually came from Hunter Biden's bedroom, or worse. Just a scammer, and she's still at CNN, which is pretty amazing. But we'll ask you a question about her. But they came up with this concept that maybe the attack wasn't that good. Maybe it, and I saw it happen right after the attack. I saw this person on CNN. I actually watch. I like to watch the enemy. You learn from the enemy, and I watched because you have to know where they're coming from. And I watched her say, Anderson, you know, I'm hearing stories that maybe they didn't hit their target, maybe it wasn't that good a hit. And hearing stories. The next day it was a little more, and the next day a little more. After 3-4 days, she was saying, I don't know. I don't think it was that. Except by that time, everybody knew it was hit perfectly.
Trump then once again repeated his lies that Iranian leaders wanted to meet him. Really? So why was the State Department woman lacking conviction in her answer on this very subject in today's press conference?
The president mentioned yesterday that the Iranians have requested a meeting. Your Iranian counterpart today countered that and said there has been no request on the Iranian side. Where does this? Is there a misunderstanding here? And are you still communicating via the Omanis, or are there other countries involved here?
Well, I would say that I don't have a counterpart in Iran. I'll say that right now. But I would remind you that our commitment to all of these issues remains. The president has been very public in saying that he wants Iran to return to the normal collection of nations. Our commitment has been steadfast through all of these conflicts, and now is a time for Iran to take advantage of that. But we've, of course, seen them do certain things that have not been helpful, like withdrawing from the IAEA, et cetera. But President Trump is determined to have success there for the Iranian people and for the world and for the region. So I don't have details for you now about what may or could happen, but I do know that the president remains committed to a world at peace and to doing everything he can to make that possible.
Anyway, in another key development, the Houthis have released quite a remarkable video footage of their attack on the merchant ship in the Red Sea. Remember, even the Royal Navy of the UK had reacted to the sinking of the ship, which they said was a Greek flag vessel. But the Houthis had later claimed responsibility, saying that this ship was headed to Israel. As I said earlier, I have not seen anything like this in the past. This was like a well produced scene from a Hollywood thriller. You can watch the full video on our Telegram channel. Details are on the screen. But I'm going to play a small clip here, which shows the point when the ship completely sinks in the Red Sea. The Houthis have said that they will continue with their military campaign against Israel until the settler colony stop their genocidal campaign against the people of Gaza. It remains to be seen what impact this extraordinary development in the Red Sea would have on the wider geopolitical events in the Middle East. As always, this channel will keep you posted. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.